I was listening to Adam Grant, who's an organizational psychologist, talk about confidence. Since this is a question that I get a lot from parents and players and coaches, I thought I would share how he talked about it because I felt it was a great way to look at it and, very easily relatable to us and some great lessons learned. So, confidence is often looked at, in his words, as a seesaw. That, on one side, if I'm too confident, I seem arrogant. So the seesaw is tipped too far to one side. The other side of it is if it's too far the other way, too little confidence, you're seen as meek. Um, so what most of us tend to do is what he calls this Goldilocks approach, is trying to be right in the middle of the seesaw and balanced in terms of confidence, not too arrogant, but also not unconfident or meek. And he said, he learned that it's probably not the best approach in terms of confidence. He said one of the healthiest approaches to confidence and what helps people actually be more confident in their lives is knowing they can achieve their goals, but questioning whether they have the tools currently to do it. So again, knowing you can achieve what you want, but being open to honestly questioning if you currently have the tools to do it. And if you think about that, it's a brilliant way to think about it. And this is what I would wish for all players. Because you think about players on the field, it's kind of the same thing. You get a player that's too confident or arrogant, that becomes an issue for that player. If a player's on the field and, is not confident enough and shies away, is meek and doesn't engage in the game, it's also an issue. And then how do you tell a player to kind of ride that fine line in the middle, and just that balance between be confident but not too overconfident? What do they really do with that? So I think this is a fantastic way to look at it. In terms of being confident, you have to believe you can achieve it, but you have to honestly look at, do I have the tools currently to do it? And if a player approaches the game this way, this is how they can become confident and develop, because that's exactly what we want for all players. We want them to look at themselves and know they can achieve it, but they also have to be honest and say, hey, do I have the tools to do it right now? And often the answer is no. And I then have to work to develop those tools. I have to question if I'm good enough at X, Y, or Z, and then work at it. If I approach it that way, if a player approaches it that way, you're going to develop a confident player because they know they can achieve it, but they're always constantly analyzing if they're where they need to be to do it. They're not just, hey, I can do it, and they're overly confident, and they really don't have the tools to do it, or they just decide they can't do it and they don't even try to develop the tools to achieve what they want. So I thought the way Adam Grant put it, and looked at it how we normally do it in all of us in our lives, and that seesaw of, trying not to be overly confident, but, don't want to be unconfident at the same time, just kind of changing how we look at confidence and that ability to just say, hey, yeah, I can do it. But I have to look at, do I have the tools right now to do it? And if I don't, then I need to work on those tools and develop them so I can achieve what I want. In his mind, this is kind of what confidence is that you know what you want, you believe you can do it, but you're always honestly thinking about, am I where I need to be to achieve it? Do I have the tools and skills and knowledge to achieve it? All right, again, to his point, if you're just overly confident, you just, yes, I do, I can do it, no problem. And you're not really looking at what you're capable of, and often will set yourself up for failure. So you don't want to be that confident, and then again, if you just have no confidence and don't think you can, or, don't even think you can develop those skills to do it, then that's not beneficial either. So when you're working with your players, you're working with your kids, talking about confidence, this is it. They have to know that they can achieve it, but they have to really look at, do I have the tools right now to do it, and be committed and dedicated to work on them. And then as they're growing and developing and reaching their goals, create new goals and decide, can I reach these? Yes. Do I have the tools currently? And analyze it and say, hey, yes, I do have the tools, or I don't have the tools, I need to work on it. So it's a great way to look at confidence from a different perspective versus just telling a kid, hey, you have to be confident, or you're overly confident. I mean, there's not much to do with that. So when we look inward and just kind of really decide and just say that, hey, I believe I can do it, I just have to really look at, do I have the tools to do it? Do I have the skills to do it? And am I willing to learn and develop them so I can achieve my goals?